Good to see. Now, down to business though. The new designs, or the design competition for Flinders Street Railway Station, there's really very little chance any of these will ever happen, isn't there?
Oh, no, Neil, I think there is a chance that the winning design will be looked at and costed. I mean, there's no doubt that Flinders Street Station is one of the iconic, historic, great buildings of Melbourne and Victoria. Everybody meets under the clocks, everybody knows that famous picture of the trams and Flinders Street.
So why turn it into something out of the Jetsons, which is what these designs are?
Well, that's what people can have their say about. That's what people's choice about. So the people say, I don't want the Jetsons model, I don't want overblown this, I want a simple approach, or I want a... But the judging takes account of the overall design, the transport function, which is absolutely essential. It is our biggest train station, will get busier. The heritage and the iconic site, the interaction with Federation Square, South Bank, the interaction with the river, all of those things are things that should be part of people's judgments about whether they're good designs. But there's no doubt,
All right, but
no doubt that when you go to the ballroom, when you go to some of the parts of the station, they are literally falling down around our knees, and something must be done.
So has any money been put aside for it?
No, there's been no money set aside at the moment, but what we're doing is going through the process. We've got the money for the design competition. When the final winners are announced on the 8th of August, then we'll start negotiating with the winning entry to look at costings and opportunities for redevelopment of the site.
So what's the most optimistic estimate? When would work start on a new site, on a new Flinders Street?
Well, I think you're looking at over the next decade doing some work on the site. Certainly.
So when will it be finished? 20 years?
No, I would hope we'd do it quicker than that. But yeah, certainly, it's not just the building. There's a 4.7 hectare site there. It is a significant site. Particularly, there's a lot of land to the west of the Flinders Street building, and of course there's potential over the rail yards themselves. And we've got to improve somehow the access from the CBD through that Flinders Street area across to South Bank. So some of the accesses can be improved and enhanced and made safer. Access along the river would be really improved for cyclists and pedestrians. So they're the things that are basic in any redevelopment.
There's nothing wrong with long-term planning, obviously, but it's just to be realistic. We are not really looking at anything significant. No significant change inside the next 10 years, are we?
Well, I would hope we start inside the next 10 years. But I think it's important that we have those long-term visions, we have those long-term plans, and we need to recognise it is an important public transport facility, it is an important iconic heritage building, and we've got to look at the opportunities. And if we can lever some commercial value out of that additional land, then we can probably bring forward any development.
Okay, yeah, right. Commercial value, you mean you'd lease some of it or rent some of it or sell some of it?
There might be a number of the proposals we've talked about, hotel opportunities or commercial opportunities at the Banana Alley Vault area and the Milk Dock area, which is to the west end of Flinders Street.
Okay, 3aw.com.au, these designs are displayed on our website. Why the public vote? You've already decided.
The jury's decided, but it's important to get public input.
But you're not going to change the jury decision.
No, we're not going to change. The jury decision is
decided.
The jury decision decides who wins the competition, who wins the money in the competition. But the public's view is really important for the government to help fine-tune any winning entry to take account of what the public say are really important to them. So if the public tell us the really important things are, to better access to across to South Bank, or the really important thing is to more public open space, or the really important thing is to get access to the ballroom in its in a refurbished state. If they tell us those things, then we can talk to the winning bidder or the winning design and say, you might need to tweak your design to take account of the fact the overwhelming passion of the people of Melbourne and Victoria are for these things that are important.
Okay, in the meantime, can we fix it? It's dirty, it's run down, the toilets, I'm told, are absolutely disgraceful, it's confusing. It is probably, at the moment, one of the worst railway stations in a developed city anywhere in the world.
There's no doubt it needs work, and what we need to do is have a grand plan, and then we need to operate under that to have temporary repairs and measures and fixes that are consistent with the grand plan, because otherwise you can spend a lot of money that in 2 years' time it has to get pulled down again. So what we want to do is have a grand plan and then temporary fixes that build towards that grand
Fix
plan.
the toilets even.
Well, certainly I'll pass that message on, Neil, that we need to.
We do get a lot of
upgrade the
calls
toilet.
about it. Serious. I haven't been in there for
Yeah.
years myself. We've got a lot of calls.
It is always a challenge in a large, busy, highly used building. 150,000 patrons a day go through the public transport facility. So it is hard in those circumstances to keep any toilets half decent.
Yeah, and those underpasses, some of them smell like toilets.
Well, that's one of the things about how we can improve those accesses and those underpasses so they're not grotty, dangerous, scary areas, that they're actually areas that become more acceptable, need to become more well lit, bigger and genuine areas where people congregate and feel safe.